Before we talk about Juneteenth, we have to clear up some misconceptions. In 1863, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation to free all the slaves in rebellious states. Slavery was still legal in the 4 border states that didn't join the Confederacy, and no states in the Confederacy actually freed their slaves until Union troops forced them to do so. On April 9, 1865, General Robert E. Lee surrendered to Ulysses S. Grant to basically end the Civil War, but it took some time for news to spread throughout the South. A little over 2 months after the surrender, in Galveston, Texas, on June 19th, Union General Gordon Granger read General Orders No. 3 that notified all enslaved persons that they were free. The celebration on that day became known as Juneteenth. A lesser-known part of the general orders stated, "The freedmen are advised to remain quietly at their present homes and work for wages. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts, and they will not be supported in idleness either there or elsewhere." This illustrates the uphill battle that 4 million former slaves were up against. Although the Emancipation Proclamation planted the seed for ending slavery, the true end to slavery in the United States didn't happen until the passage of the 13th Amendment on December 6, 1865. Some slave owners completely disregarded the orders and the amendment. There are some reports of slave masters in Texas not freeing their slaves until 2 to 3 years after the Juneteenth celebration. Some people refer to the time period after Juneteenth as the scatter, because many newly freed slaves tried to unite with their families or start a new life away from their former masters. When Reconstruction ended and Jim Crow took control of American society, many African Americans stopped celebrating Juneteenth in fear of mob violence from groups like the KKK. In Houston, many former slaves banded together to buy a 10-acre plot to build Emancipation Park. It was the only public park and swimming pool open to African Americans in the Houston area until the 1950s. Throughout history, Juneteenth has had many names. It's been called Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, Cell Liberation Day, Second Independence Day, Emancipation Day, and many others. Juneteenth was not designed to be the sole celebration of emancipation in the United States. As you can see, there were some other important dates that many people thought about. Juneteenth eventually reigned supreme after quite a few intended and unintended historical developments. There was a huge revival of Juneteenth celebrations during the Civil Rights Movement of the 1950s and 60s, very similar to the recent revival and interest in Juneteenth connected to various social movements today. Present-day celebrations of Juneteenth take many forms. Some include rodeos, street fairs, cookouts, park parties, historical reenactments, and even a Miss Juneteenth contest. Juneteenth has also become a day for activism and a day to discuss the continuation of slavery around the world. Some current estimates say that there are an estimated 30 million people still involved in human trafficking and other forms of enslavement. The Juneteenth flag nods to the American flag with the red, white, and blue colors and features the Lone Star of Texas to reference its birthplace. The bursting star outline that takes up most of the flag is supposed to represent the newfound freedom and future of formerly enslaved people. There's been a huge push to make Juneteenth a national holiday. What do you think?